We will be learning the first lesson in physics today, and that is motion. How do we define motion? When we look at each other, we may not be moving. But if somebody looks at us, he or she may feel that we are moving. A very simple example is when you are sitting in a car next to each other. For both of you, you are not moving, you are relaxing on the seat. But for a person on the road, you are moving with the car. And therefore, the point of observation is very important when we define motion. Say for example, when we all are sitting in a class, the building is stationary, we are stationary, at rest, relaxing on our benches. But if we look at it from space, we find that we are actually moving with the earth. And we are moving with a tremendous speed of 17.5 kilometers per second. Again, it is the point of observation that matters. We also know that one thing cannot be at two different places at the same time. Therefore, passage of time during motion is equally important. The third thing, where do we begin from, is a big question. Let me tell you something. Two friends board on a bus from Ahmedabad and they are going towards Rajkot. As soon as the bus leaves the ST station, one friend falls asleep. After about an hour, he wakes up and asks his friend where we are. The friend says 110 kilometers. The passenger sitting on the next seat says that no, it is 95 kilometers. Strangely, both can be right. Why? Because the friend was considering the distance between the Ahmedabad ST stand and the bus, and the fellow passenger was considering Rajkot ST stand and the bus. And therefore, which is the reference point is equally important. Now, this reference point is called the origin. So now, since the concept of time, point of observation and the reference point, all three have been explained to you, it will be easier for you to understand the definition of motion. So how do we define motion? We define motion that with respect to a point of origin, if an object changes position with passage of time, the object is said to be in motion. We have different types of motions. We have motion which is linear, we have motion which is in two dimensions, and we also have motion in three dimensions. In this particular standard, we are only going to learn about motion in a straight line, that is linear motion. from point A to point B. But here again, we have a problem. Let me ask you a question. A bus moves from point A to point B, and the distance between point A and point B is 5 kilometers. Next, the bus moves from point B to point C, and the distance between point B and C is 3 kilometers. Calculate what should be the distance between point A and point C. The very first answer that would come to mind is 8 kilometers. But that is not the only answer. Let me explain you with the graphics. If we have a point A here, a point B here, and a point C here, then this will be 5 kilometers and this will be 3 kilometers, and the total distance will be 5 plus 3, 8 kilometers. The first answer that comes to mind. Now let us consider a different situation. We have a point A here, a point B here, and a point C here. And this is 5 kilometers. This is 3 kilometers, and therefore this will be 2 kilometers. You will feel that we have completed all possibilities, but no. There is yet another possibility. Let's see that. We have a point A here and a point B here, and we know that the distance is 5 kilometers. What if we have a point C here? Then by Pythagoras, this will be 4 kilometers. So which of the three answers is correct? Is a big question. And therefore, it is very important that we talk of direction. Now let me specify the previous question I asked. A bus moves from point A to point B, and the distance between A and B is 5 kilometers. It returns along the same path to a point C, and the distance between B and C is 3 kilometers. What will be the distance between A and C? And here we have only one answer, and that is 2 kilometers. If I say a bus starts from point A, which is point B, which is 5 kilometers away, and along the same line goes to point C, which is 3 kilometers from B, here there is again only one answer, and that answer is 8 kilometers. And if I say that the bus starts from A, reaches B, which is 5 kilometers, from B it takes an angle to reach point C, which is 3 kilometers. The distance between A and C will be obviously only 4 kilometers. Now we don't have 3 different answers. Why not? Because we incorporated distance along with direction. And therefore, when we describe motion, describing direction becomes very important. All such physical quantities that cannot be described simply by mentioning the volume or the magnitude, like say 5 kilometers, but also require direction along the same line towards A at an angle. Such quantities are called vector quantities. So a physical quantity that requires magnitude as well as the direction to completely describe it is called a vector quantity. However, physical quantities that can be fully described by magnitude alone, for example, the weight. A person may weigh 50 kilograms. We don't call it from top to bottom or from bottom to top. You weigh from any direction, that will be 50 kilograms. So magnitude alone is enough. The duster will have a specific volume. Whichever we put it in water, the same volume of water will be displaced. So volume can be described by magnitude alone. But there are quantities which cannot be described by magnitude alone. They require magnitude as well as direction, as explained before. Such quantities are called vector quantities, and motion is a vector quantity. They require magnitude as well as direction, and only then we can come to the correct conclusion. Otherwise, it may have a number of answers and we don't know which one is correct. So remember, it is the algebraic sum of the quantities when it comes to vector quantities. Now what do we understand by algebraic sum? It is very simple. If we consider any motion from left to right as positive, and we are, remember, in this standard not going to learn about the 7 dimension. We are only going to restrict ourselves to linear motion. Anything that moves from left to right, if we take positive, then anything that moves from right to left will be taken negative. Now let us make the necessary changes. And remember, we are going to learn only about linear motion motion in one dimension only. So now we say A to B plus 5 because it is moving from left to right, and we have a C plus 3 kilometer because again it is moving from left to right, and then we add plus 5 plus 3 and we come to plus 8. That means this positive sign will tell us that C is to the right of A and it is 8 kilometers away from A. Now let us take the second condition. We have A, we have B. The object moves from left to right 5 kilometers, and now we have a C here. If this is plus 5 kilometers, this object is now moving from right to left, and therefore it will be minus 3 kilometers. So the algebraic sum plus 5 plus minus 3 will give us plus 2. That's the answer. Plus sign indicates that C is to the right of A, and 2 indicates that it is 2 kilometers away from A. I will again explain. The first condition, remember we are taking all motions from left to right as positive. It is not necessary that we have to take left to right motion as positive. We can even take right to left motions as positive, in which case left to right motion will become negative. But for convenience, we stick to left to right motions as positive, and therefore from A towards the left to B on its right, left to right motion plus 5 kilometers. From B to C, again left to right motion plus 3 kilometers. The algebraic sum plus 5 plus 3 will give us plus 8 kilometers as our answer. The plus sign indicates that C is to the right of A. 8 kilometers tells us the actual distance between A and C. The second set, we have A, B to its right, from left to right motion plus 5 kilometers, and we have a C there from right to left motion minus 3 kilometers. Remember, minus 3 does not mean that the 3 is negative. Minus 3 simply means that the direction of motion is opposite. Now we take the algebraic sum plus 5 plus minus 3 and we get plus 2. The plus sign would indicate that C is to the right of A, and 2 will indicate the distance between A and C. So remember, the signs in this particular chapter, plus and minus signs, are not the signs of the number line. They only depict the direction in which the motion is taking place. So please don't get confused. These are not the signs of the number line. These are the signs to indicate the direction of motion. If plus indicates motion in a particular direction, minus sign will indicate the motion in exactly the opposite direction. And therefore, when we say minus 3, it is not negative 3, it is 3 km in opposite direction. Now I will ask you yet another question. We have a very favorite morning walk spot very close to my house. It is called Parimal Garden. It has a complete circumference of 800 meters. I have to buy milk for my house, so every morning I have to go from near the gate of Parimal Garden to my milk vendor and return along the same route. One fine morning, when I was going to buy milk, I saw a gentleman standing at the gate. I reached my milk vendor, and these days, as you know, we have to keep social distance, etc., etc. So even if there are only 5 customers in line, the length of the line will be about 15 meters. So it takes time for me to reach the counter and collect my quota of milk. Takes me about, say, 15 to 20 minutes. Once I have collected the quota of my milk, I return along the same route and I find the same gentleman standing at the same place. And I wonder, why is he wasting time? If he doesn't want to walk, why has he bothered to come all the way to the walking spot? On the first day I ignore, but the same thing happens on the second and the third and the fourth day. So on the 5th day, I approached the gentleman and asked him, I see you standing at the gate every day. If you are not interested in walking, why are you coming to the garden? Are you accompanying somebody? Are you waiting for someone to pick you up? He said, no, I walk. I was surprised. I said, but I all the time see you standing at the gate. He said, by the time you see me on the gate, buy your milk and come back, I have completed one full round. I have walked 800 meters. And that is why you find me on the same spot. So the distance covered by him is 800 meters. For me, however, he has not moved at all. And therefore we have 2 vector and scalar quantities also in motion. The vector quantity is called the velocity, and the scalar quantity is called the speed. Same way, when we are measuring distances, the scalar quantity is usual distance and the vector quantity is displacement. The gentleman at the gate had a displacement of 0, but the distance covered was 800 meters. We will end the lecture today here. We will continue in the next lecture.